Last September, about 4 weeks into the school year, I was shocked and embarrassed to learn that I had been tricked into taking my clothes off while sharing a locker room with a male student. I was very upset and extremely confused. I didn't understand how my school could do this to me. I am a Christian girl, and I would never choose to take my clothes off in front of a boy. That boy is using my locker room at your invitation, and you didn't even give me a warning or an alternative option. All I got was forced compliance. It could be any male in that locker room watching us undress. It doesn't matter who the guy is. He does not belong in my locker room. Now, I have guys right next to me in the girls' bathroom. How could you ever believe that this is okay? This is the girls' bathroom. I have been to a few of these meetings now, and it is apparent to me that you are not at all considering how it affects everyone involved. My dad called the school this week to complain about my experience with boys in my bathroom. He talked to a vice principal about it, so later that day, she called me into the office, and in so many words, I was told that if being compromised and violated was a problem for me, that I could walk clear across campus to the single-use bathroom up front. Otherwise, too bad, it wasn't my problem, it's the law. What about all the other girls in the same situation as me? Are we all going to walk to the front of the school being late for class, risking getting in trouble, just to be able to feel safe and honor our values, when there's a bathroom right down the hall? You continue to say that you are here to serve the students and families in this district. However, it seems that only applies to a select group of people. You have violated my privacy, you have violated my modesty, and you have violated my dignity. To other parents and adults in this room, please, we need your help. It is not just me. I have had countless other girls and guys as well come to me with their feelings and concerns about being violated the way we are. The entire student body is under assault, and the school board and administration are the ones assaulting us. Thank you.
We're here to support you. You go right ahead. We'd love to hear what you have to say.
I feel very upset by the situation, that the fact that boys are going to be allowed to go into the girls' bathrooms. I don't think that they should be allowed to be in girls' bathrooms because it's just, if they're not a girl, then they shouldn't be in there. If that's how it's meant to be, then it shouldn't be changed, but it's going to be changed anyway because opinions don't matter for me.
Products in the boys' bathrooms. Custodians have more work to unclog toilets and remove tampons stuck to the ceiling. Tampon Bullseye has replaced hopscotch. This is another example of how California is failing public schools. I loved my grammar school in San Diego County. But after the lockdown, I asked my gay moms, why is my school promoting transgenders in no other groups? They had no answer, but transferred me out of my history teacher's class because she was an activist trying to turn us against American values to promote kids who seemed to be very unhappy. It all started last fall on the first day of school when we were asked and pressured to write down our pronouns on a name tag for all to see. My mom taught us to ignore questions from strangers about LGBTQ family, about our LGBTQ family. She said if any adult asked me about my sexuality, gender, or sexual preference, I must remember a 3-letter word. R-U-N. Run. But I couldn't run from my history teacher, who embarrassed and stressed me out by making a big deal of me having 2 gay moms. First, she praised me by telling the class how wonderful I was because of my LGBTQ household. Then she asked me what was so special about having 2 moms. Other than not having to worry about Father's Day, I couldn't think of a thing. Then she told us she was married to a man but still attracted to women. As the year went on, it went from bad to worse. Shortly after, she told us not to trust our parents. My mom said I was never to set foot in her classroom again. Soon, other students transferred out as well. You must do this for your kids too if this ever happens to them. Nothing against trans kids. But people like my former quote-unquote history teacher who loves their lifestyle is actually harming them by forcing others to question their own genders. We kids are fine just the way we are. Nobody should tell us any different. Every kid I know doesn't care if you're transgender, gay, straight, let alone the color of your skin. They only care about The only thing they care about is what you're having for lunch and if you have enough for them too. When grammar schools give tampons to little boys, fill our libraries with nasty images, refer to us places like Planned Parenthood to get puberty blockers, and invite us to drag shows where men dressed like Disney characters invaded by aliens, it's out of control. Those drag shows are advertised by surgical centers and doctors who want to drug us and cut off our healthy body parts. It feels like they either want to kill us or make sure we never have kids, or both. I feel bad for kids and adults who've been convinced they need drugs and surgeries to be themselves when they should have been left alone to grow up and figure it out. Most kids just want to have fun, be loved, and play games, besides tampon bullseye. I'm too young to vote, but can you please elect people who will make it illegal to drug and cut us up for their own science projects? Otherwise, your kids will go from the classrooms to the operating rooms. Who knows? Yours could be next.
As a kid myself, I am very concerned. I recently took the California Healthy Kids survey at my middle school, and they asked us questions I feel was none of their business. It was all very confusing and upsetting to me. California asks us kids if we are straight, gay, bisexual, or something else. Another page asked if we think we are different compared to the sex we were assigned at birth. Not only is this confusing to most kids, but why are they trying to learn about our privates? My parents are wondering who gets this information, what are they going to do with it, where will it be kept, and for how long? Our parents taught us to never discuss anything having to do with our privates, especially with adults. They said it invites unwanted attention and in some cases could even be dangerous. Both of my moms are gay. They feel these questions are a type of indoctrination by suggesting kids are something that they are not. I don't get what this has to do with my education and why they don't ask our parents instead of the kids. Most parents don't know what goes on because once their kid gets into the 7th grade, schools and even some teachers talk about their sex lives, question ours, and insist we use pronouns that would have made me fail any English test before the lockdown. My school pushes a transgender lifestyle, even though we don't see any at our school. It's causing kids to become stressed and resentful because we feel pressure to accept and call ourselves something we don't understand, nor do we feel comfortable talking about. Most kids don't care if anyone says they are gay, straight, transgender, or another race, because that's what makes up America. But when some of my friends think that taking puberty blockers and cutting out kids' private parts is okay, I worry because puberty blockers can change their personalities and even make them mean. I don't understand why schools think it is okay to push any lifestyle that creates more depression, drug addiction, and suicide for us kids. They should be focused on teaching us history, English, science, and math so we can take good care of you one day. Right now, fentanyl is the number one killer of kids my age and older. I really hope suicide doesn't replace the fentanyl statistics soon. I'm scared. I am scared if some of my friends think that changing their sex is okay, and teachers who believe they are helping us but are really hurting us instead. I don't want anything bad to happen to any of them. I miss my old school and teachers before the lockdown. If I were a teacher today, I would never promote any sexual preference or gender in my classroom because most kids accept everyone. If I had to teach diversity, equity, and inclusion, it would go like this. Some families look different than yours, but everyone is equal and worthy of respect. Class dismissed.
I'm speaking on behalf of parents and students that feel like their voices are not being heard. I'm sad we have to argue, but it's worth arguing about. What I'm hearing is my opinion isn't valid, and it's okay for boys that think they're girls to go into girls' bathrooms. I feel like you don't care about my or my friend's safety. Show us you care about our safety by listening to us. We're worth more than you treat us like. I have RA or rheumatoid arthritis. My body's immune system attacks my joints, and I can have a flare-up at any time. That means I can't move or defend myself as well as I should be able to. Have you thought about special needs kids at all? A special ed girl could be in the bathroom and get touched inappropriately. Somebody could take inappropriate pictures of her or worse. We won't stop until this is resolved. I would like you to make a policy so that me, my friends, and people don't have to be scared every time they go into the bathroom. The hard decision is the right one, so make yours.
I am here to address the fact that biological men are allowed to change and use whichever restrooms they please, while us females who are proven females down to our DNA are forced to share our private spaces with them. We are unable to express how uncomfortable we are due to it being a sensitive topic. I am here to be the voice to those students who are too scared to speak up because of the backlash they will get. There have been many instances where biological men have sexually assaulted, flashed, and beat female students in other districts. This new law was supposed to keep women safe, however, we do not feel safe. Schools are supposed to keep all students safe, so what are those schools doing to keep us females safe? Why are transgender females more entitled than biological females? They have their rights, where are ours? We had a protest today in school, and we had many supporters. We had a teacher flip us off while driving by. We also had a picture going around of a teacher with a large trans flag displayed in the background of her smartboard, which is pushing their ideology onto these students. And teachers should not be expressing themselves to students. Teachers are in school to teach their primary subject, not talk about their political, religious, or LGBTQ plus ideologies. And should definitely not be forcing it onto their students. We need a change, not just at John Jay, but at every other school in our district. Thank you for your time.
Only, ladies and gentlemen, it is and shall always be. I am an 18-year-old high school student and wanted to take this time to bring to your attention the current issue with biological men claiming they are women and in turn truly believing that they are entitled to use women's spaces. There was an incident within our district that occurred recently regarding a transgender woman who really is a biological man having an altercation with a young woman at MLK High School. It was infuriating when I had seen the video on social media, but what was detrimental to this is the fact that this man is and has been using the women's restroom and locker room. Firstly, the question we must address is why are we affirming the mental confusion of this boy and putting the safety of women in jeopardy by allowing mentally confused men to use the women's spaces? Of course, any male who claims he is a woman will accept it, but what about the women? What about the true girls like myself who are female down to our DNA? Why don't we ever get a say in whether or not we are comfortable with this? The truth is, we aren't. The majority of us aren't, and yet nothing has been done to protect the safety of these women. I will conclude with this. It all starts with you. You are in charge of the safety of us women and the kids of our parents. So please do something about it. Thank you.
I went to the guidance counselor and told her since I was second on the hit list, knowing that there was something going to happen, because there was a girl she was targeting every day at lunch. And they would go to the counselor and tell them every day that this is going to happen. And Wednesday I went with two others, and each of us filled out a whole paper full of what's going to happen and why it's going to happen. And then I went to chorus and I was told, watch your back. He is going to come for you and this other girl at lunch. And when I was at lunch, I was terrified, and I told Miss Fattori that that was happening, and she said, don't worry about it, it's not going to happen. But, and early that morning, I was told I was not going to see Mel for the rest of that week. But I was in lunch, and all of a sudden I just hear all this screaming and everybody running. And I see Mel running in after somebody, and everyone's screaming and running. But the girl who got attacked didn't see it because she was face backwards. And all of a sudden you just hear these terrible, like, loud bangs of the Stanley bouncing off her head. And then you see Mel grabbing her hair and hitting her against the table and just repeatedly hitting her with the Stanley. There was blood going everywhere. I was the table right behind it. And all you see is blood everywhere. And it was just, and then you say in your email that it was 8 minutes, but we timed it, it was 28 minutes. And we had to sit in there and watch them clean up her blood off those tables and ground. And we had to watch them take her out with blood dripping down her face. And I will never forget that. And laying in bed last night, I just kept repeating it in my head, and we shouldn't have had to sit there and just watch them clean up her blood with the mop. Watch her repeatedly yelling that I'm gonna murder you and just hitting her with the Stanley. And I don't get how, you couldn't have stopped it. It was 5 hours from when I told you it was gonna happen and when it happened. It was 5 whole hours. I don't get how you couldn't have stopped that. And how Ms. Fattori said, don't worry, it's not gonna happen. We have her under control. But clearly you didn't.